Hi, how's it going?
What's up, baby? Did you miss me?
Yes, it's me.
He's back! He's back!
I'm showing up in person today because today is a special occasion, so I figured it would be rude not to show up in person. The guy I want to talk about today is Mr. Beast. No, I'm kidding. It's a fellow YouTuber, albeit much bigger and probably better at this than me. Give it up for Adam something, everyone, before I proceed to roast him. Let me just preface this by saying no shade to bro. I've been watching him for quite a while and I think what he does is really good stuff. I've even covered a video of his in the past about New Folder 2, or more commonly referred to as the new administrative capital of Egypt, and it was an absolute banger. He also shreds Elon Musk in almost every video, and I'm very here for it.
Truly a genius of our time who definitely has the brain of an adult and is not addicted to ketamine. Guys, he's not a ketamine addict. He does not spend his evenings lying on the couch posting bullshit while high, okay?
That being said, I think bro messed up in the last video, the gist of which is he wants to solve disinformation, bot accounts, content farms, and all other sorts of garbage that all social media are plagued with nowadays. And these are very real issues, don't get me wrong. I do agree that they need to be addressed. But I think Adam's proposed solution to it is naive at best, authoritarian by nature, and would take us back a few decades at worst. He proposed that all profiles on any social media be mandated to have the user's full legal name, photo, and information available publicly, and to basically cancel independent journalism in favor of traditional or mainstream news. Now, both of these ideas are horrible, and I'll tell you why. This is a common mistake Westerners often fall for, where they assume the whole world is the same or close to the same as their countries, which it is not, by the way. In fact, I would venture a guess that you guys are the exception. The majority of the world does not get to enjoy the same freedoms you do. The democracy you're worried about is already heavily flawed or outright doesn't exist in a lot of places. And if I remember correctly, bro comes from Hungary, which I hear isn't that great. But if you think the only way from there is up, well, I have very bad news. And even in the so-called civilized West, by the way, you should know that governments would absolutely abuse this power. I mean, they already have. We've seen what happened to a lot of people who openly spoke for Gaza. Many losing their jobs or even getting arrested in extreme cases. Or, God forbid, someone dares to say that Russian conscripts being thrown to the incinerator in Ukraine are not all devil-spawned commies coming for world domination. Rather, just regular people turned pawns on a shitty chessboard they didn't even choose to be born into. Which is something I relate to very much, by the way, considering my whole adult life so far has been spent stalling conscription and trying to squeeze out of it, for very valid reasons, by the way, not being a pussy, that I have already covered multiple times on this channel. Now, I'll just talk for my own country so I don't piss off anyone besides the usual groups I already piss off with my usual videos, but keep a mental note that Egypt is far from the only place like this, and maybe even not the worst. As dog shit as it is. Almost all this information here comes from the government and mainstream news outlets, whether they are under government influence or just for their own personal interests. The only way for the average Muhammad here to get actual news and facts, ironically, is through independent news outlets such as Matsaddash and El Mawqif Al-Masri, which I have cited as sources a lot in my videos throughout the time I've been covering Egyptian politics and news. Either that, or just individuals who were either involved in a certain incident or have witnessed it firsthand. But that holds less credibility, of course, because people can just make shit up.
Well, a kid flew right over me and blasted a car with its laser vision.
I tried to run from it, but it picked me up with its mind powers and shook me like a doll.
It's true! I saw the whole thing!
اهو بعيد عني يجي ب5 متر.
انا شايفك وانت بتخبطه ونطرته لحد هناك.
But if enough actual people and not bots corroborate a story, then it's more likely to be true. Common sense is a helpful tool too, you know? Some stories I see people falling for are just... I would argue the problem sometimes isn't disinformation, rather just people being dumb as fuck. And you also have people like me, who talk to the outside world in its own language, or at least a more commonly understood one than Arabic, because let's be real, nobody is learning this nightmare of a language, to inform them on what Egypt is actually like, which, guess what, has nothing in common with what the official image of Egypt is aka propaganda, aside from the fact that we have pyramids. And I bet even those, no official source will tell you what visiting them is actually like. It's all just heavily cherry-picked, embellished bullshit with no roots in reality whatsoever, because the truth smells like camel shit and has a lot of trash on it. Therefore, would disincentivize visitors, which is something I have actually been attacked before on this channel for. Quote, damaging tourism. The real reason I do this, though, has nothing to do with harming Egyptians or the tourism scams business. It's more about looking out for people considering a visit or even moving here. As someone who has been looking for places to immigrate to for years now, content like this shit I do is gold. I know its value. Back to the point, aside from doing the government a huge favor and giving them a monopoly on this information like it was back in the 80s, 90s and even 2000s, which is something they desperately tried to get back, by the way. I mean, civilian drones are completely banned here for security reasons, and filming government buildings, or well, getting caught doing it anyway, is a go-to-jail for free card. The only actual form of free speech Egyptians have is through online anonymity. I can't even fucking show all of my cats or any inch of my house that isn't generic wall or floor, worried about the infinitesimal chance that someone who knows me in person sees it and recognizes it, and I get my ass doxxed, and I'm just a little guy doing his little thing. Don't even get me started on actual political figures. To give an extreme example, Abu Ubaidah. How far do you reckon blood would go in a world where Adam is in charge of big media? I mean, we've already seen what happens to that type of people when they don't wear the terrorist outfit, TM. Back to Egypt, it's no secret that people here get in trouble just for talking with their real name and face. It's not just political activists like that hunger strike dude from the climate summit or that dumbass Sharif Gabber. You have influencers who never even talk politics being thrown in jail too. The most of which are TikTok thoughts, because that's immoral and haram. But not just those, as we've seen with these three poor bastards like a year or so ago. These two got arrested because they made a sketch that featured a prison cell. That's it. There was no political content whatsoever, and no police brutality either. There wasn't even any cops in it as far as I remember. It was perfectly neutral, and also modest, coupled cringe, and even worse, this third guy didn't even have anything to do with that sketch, but he still got dragged along for the ride because he apparently was close with the other guy and had collabed with him before. Now, he did end up getting out 6 months later, and he had recently gotten engaged at the time he got arrested too, so that must have fucking sucked for him and his fiancée. As for people who do make political content, it's safe to say my channel, and probably my life, would come to an abrupt, mysterious stop if Adam's suggestions are implemented and I'm forced to show my name and face here. If not for the government, then by some nationalist asshole. And Adam himself probably wouldn't like his own idea being implemented either. I am aware that he has shown his face before on the channel, but that was mostly in sponsored segments, if I recall correctly. His normal content, at least now, is pretty much all VTuber style. And that is perfectly fine. If I were in bro's shoes, I wouldn't want every far-right moron with a pitchfork who watches me to know my face and address either. Which is why I don't get advocating to give that power to them. And also just privacy. Like, even if I wasn't in any danger for the content I make, I still would choose to be anonymous. Like, I like my privacy and I don't want to make this bleed into the rest of my life. And as someone who regularly shells out VPNs and data deleting services, with the main selling point being privacy, I find it rather hypocritical to be advocating for what essentially is less privacy online. Now, I know sponsorships are just for the bag, like, I get it, I get the hustle, it's a chore you do to sustain your content, but I think some integrity is warranted. At the very least, don't contradict stuff you've agreed to promote. The next point, Egyptian Facebook is generally apolitical, or very mild about it, despite being the most popular platform here. And trust me, that is not because the average Muhammad doesn't talk about politics. A simple stroll down any street, literally anywhere in the country, will show you the opposite is true. Everybody's fucking pissed and everybody talks about it. It's simply that Facebook is less common to be used anonymously, at least here, that's just how it goes. I'm not sure if it's a status quo thing or if Facebook actually makes it hard, but here, Facebook is for friends, family, and memes, while Twitter is for politics and degeneracy. Speaking of degeneracy, actually, another problem with the proposed solutions by Adam is porn. I don't think a lot of people who do that will want their full legal name and info attached to their content, especially the freaky shit. I think bro is appealing to authority here, which is a bit hypocritical if I'm being honest, but let's assume in a hypothetical perfect world free of government corruption, it still won't solve anything, if not make it worse, because news outlets themselves that he's advocating to restrict journalism to are biased by nature. And again, as someone who has been sponsored by Ground News before, you should be aware of that, my guy. Which, by the way, I believe is a great service, if it does what it says it does. I'm not attacking his sponsor. I would assume that making the power to report news exclusive to news outlets and traditional media would only make things way worse. And let us not forget the possibility of cyber attacks and hackers. Maybe that is a less likely threat in the developed world, but in banana republics where brainless apes who don't know Control Z exists hold the absolute authority over everything, it's apparently quite easy to do, and it has already happened recently actually. Twice. If you couldn't tell, the billboards in a street in Cairo called Faisal got hacked and displayed memes against Sisi. And what's even funnier is that they ended up cutting the power off the street until they fixed it. CBC and Extra News Channel's accounts got hacked on the Nubd application and posted the death of the president. Say amen in the comments, everyone. Now that I have covered why I think your suggestions would do more harm than good, this is the part where I give my own solution. Unfortunately, I don't have a solution. I don't believe there even exists an outright solution, but I think a more realistic approach to at least mitigating the issue is to target the things that enable this bullshit to be done en masse like this. In other words, less AI and algorithms and more human involvement and moderation. Everything is auto-moderated nowadays, and all content is algorithm-optimized brain rot made just for clicks, which is how we ended up with a digital hellscape where shit floats and actual content sinks. A digital toilet, if you will. I mean, just look at the YouTube search tool. If you search for something, Adam something, you get like 3-5 relevant results if you're lucky, and then it goes like, here's some shit you might be interested in, completely unrelated to your query, by the way. Like, no, fuck off. Can we please abolish the idea of explore and for you pages? I hate this shit. Show me what I fucking searched for. You already have my homepage to spam with random shit the algorithm thinks I wanna see. And Facebook is doing it too now, bombarding my ass with suggested for you content, which is all just garbage reels, rage bait and brain rot, instead of the stuff that I actually follow and want to see. You might as well remove the follow function at this point. With less reliance on algorithms, we would also cut back on brain rot and un-Mr. Beastify YouTube in favor of actual content, like me. On the other front, with less AI, making fake bullshit, farming bot accounts to push a certain narrative, and dogpiling anyone who dares disagree would be a lot harder and take more actual effort, thus disincentivizing a considerable sum of the people doing it, as they would have to revert to what our government cavemen do, which is hiring people to post psyops and pump propaganda up. Yes, that's a thing here. We call them ligan, singular form is lagna, and most people simply don't have the means or resources to do that. As for adding back human involvement, put actual fucking human moderators and support staff back where they were.
Now put that thing back or so.
I genuinely cannot recall the last time I reached out to support on any fucking website and actually got hold of a real person. It's all either FAQ sheets or some stupid AI chatbot. And on some websites, the entire support page doesn't even fucking open. It's broken. Like, what in the dead internet theory is this bullshit? We didn't make the internet just to cut ourselves out of it and leave it to bots entirely. Disinformation will always be a thing. Like it or not, it's just human nature. We are manipulative, opportunistic, lying pieces of shit. And the more a person holds power, the more these traits become prevalent. But while we may not be able to completely eradicate disinformation, the less of it we have to deal with, the better. I think that's a more realistic approach than sacrificing anonymity, freedom of speech, and endangering thousands, if not millions of people whose only safety net is anonymity, just to put even more power into the hands of the people who already more or less hold all the power anyway and control the narrative. Again, no shade to Adam. Lord knows I fucking love trains. I just wanted to address this because it directly affects me on this channel and also on my personal accounts, and also to catch some clout. I'm not really worried that any mega corporation would actually be like, oh shit, Adam is right, we need to reform and waiver all this power we lobbied and loopholed so goddamn hard for decades. As much as governments and mainstream media would absolutely love that, I think the response, assuming anyone in a position of power even watches his video, would be more like, the fuck's blood yapping about over there? I just figured I might as well yap back. And if you wanna yap with me in person, I have a small Discord server where you can do that. We all yap down here. You can also support what I do and help me escape this hellhole I'm stuck in by buying me a coffee. Now, isn't that cute? The link is in the description, it only takes a minute, and no sign up is required. And since this is an algorithmic hellscape, would you kindly like this video and leave a comment so that it performs better? For every like, I will do a jumping jack on camera. I promise. Yesterday was leg day though, so like give me a little bit. Cheers homies, take care, and I'll see you next time. Hast du Haare?